Hey everyone, welcome to Cooking Companion TV. I'm Jenna Edwards and this is a recipe demo of gumbo zerbs, or green gumbo or vegetarian gumbo. So give this video a thumbs up if you like it. We start with 3 pounds of assorted greens, about 14 cups. It's a lot of greens. You need something like collard greens, turnip or mustard greens, spinach, chard, dandelion, or beet greens. To be ultra traditional, choose an odd number of greens. And then prep them. For my dandelions, I'm cutting off any thick, woody stems that I don't think will cook down well before chopping the greens into bite-sized pieces. And then chopping up big wads of collard greens. I feel like you can't make this dish without collard greens. And because collards are so fibrous, I'll double chop them to make sure they really break down into the soup and I don't end up with awkward strings from the collard leaves. I also have chard that gets chopped up too. Now for the roux, which is a true test of cooking prowess. To keep it truly vegetarian and traditional to its West African roots, we'll use peanut oil. Using 1 cup of flour to 1 cup of peanut oil, we'll heat it up over low heat for a long time, stirring regularly, getting out all of the clumps of flour until the roux is the color of peanut butter, which is a light roux, but it's better if it looks more like chocolate. And that takes some real bravery to go that long. If it's close, like if your prep area is close to your stove top, you can do your vegetables while keeping an eye on it. So I'm gonna dice a green bell pepper. I need a cup of diced bell pepper and a cup of chopped celery. I keep chopped celery in the freezer so I don't have to buy an entire bunch every time I need a stalk or two, so that's already in the bowl. I need to dice 2 cups of onion. And remember to stir your roux every few minutes to make sure it's not burning. I also figured out that a conduction cooktop is not made for roux. The heat is not constant, it turns on and off, so it's super tricky to decide if the heat is right. And mince 4 generous cloves of garlic. While the roux is cooking, you also need to bring 10 cups of water to a boil. So I'd start boiling the water about halfway into the roux. The roux took me nearly an hour. I think you could do it in 40 minutes on slightly higher heat, but only if you're comfortable with it. I finally moved this to my gas stove top so I could control the heat better, and it's of course where I'm more comfortable. And this is where I ended up. It's super dark, right? This is what I mean by it needs to look the color of chocolate. So in a gigantic pot over medium-high heat, add the roux and the onions, celery, peppers, and garlic, and stir together and cook until the vegetables soften, about 5 to 8 minutes. Add 2 bay leaves, a tablespoon of Cajun spice like Tony Chacheres, and a cup or 2 of the boiling water just to start. Give it a good stir to incorporate the roux into the water. Because it may seize up first, meaning it'll get thicker or clumpy, you want to add in the water a little at a time and keep stirring and adding a couple more cups of water because it will eventually get silky. So give it a good stir and make sure nothing's sticking to the pot. And then add all your greens. I also threw in half a bag of frozen spinach to supplement the rest of my fresh greens. And let it simmer for at least an hour. Gumbo is always better the longer it cooks on low heat. Now eventually it'll turn into a brown sludge, and it reminds me of medfuna, a North African stewed spinach dish with meatballs. In fact, this can be cooked with ham hock and even sausage. And this is mostly how you see it served these days. But to keep it traditional and also strictly vegetarian, you can leave that out. As you can see, this makes a gigantic serving. It's ideal for freezing a large portion of it for later. Since it's 90% greens, it's super nutritious and they've stewed in their own juice. Now I love this and I hope you will too. Gumbo zerbs has its roots and traditions in several cultures, so just like the greens you'll use, it's a big melting pot of flavors from all around the world. That's it for this demo of gumbo zerbs, or gumbo zab, or green gumbo, or vegetarian gumbo. So get the ingredient list below or at cookingcompaniontv.com/greengumbo. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe to this channel for more demos just like this. I'm Jenna Edwards, and thanks for watching.